You already know. Aswand Cruickshank, your one and only Move Swiftly speaker, checking in for a daily Move Swiftly thought, giving you a perspective on teamwork that you will not get anywhere else. So we officially, it's March 8th, as of this recording, officially 1 month away from me competing in my first ever half marathon. And the goal is to run the full 13.2 miles without stopping. You know, I've started now regularly doing 10 miles a day, and I'm not going backwards. We're only going forwards. Once I hit that double-digit mark, we're just gonna keep moving forward, all with the goal of being a marathoner. When I say marathoner, I don't mean one marathon. I mean doing multiple marathons year after year after year. To be that's who I am. That's how I'm defining. That's how I define. That's how I go after a marathoner. All right, ain't no sprinter, a marathon runner, And then I could really go hard at putting on the Move Swiftly marathon, because I could speak from experience. I could speak from the soul. I could speak from what I actually accomplished on my own. Guy tore his ACL, a little over 10 years ago, and now he's running in marathons. That's the kind of progress I'm talking about, right? So I got to thinking, since I'm a month away from it, I got to thinking about when I used to be on this track team when I was a kid. Had a brief stint on a track team named the Gideonites Track and Field Club, right? And the coach was, he's a trainee, Coach Chapman. So, you know, obviously he connected well with my family and things like that. So they had a time where we were at practice. This is when we used to practice at the Coalfield House, right? At practice, and he had us doing some track workouts. It was like a long distance workout, like 800 run or something like that, because I used to compete in the 800s and stuff like that. And it was towards the end of practice, and I think my dad was talking to one of the assistant coaches about my uniform or what size I needed, because I guess they had to order uniforms for the track meet that was coming up or whatever it was. So I'm coming down the finish line. I'm coming down the finish line of this workout that Coach Chapman had designed for us, right? And as I'm coming towards the finish line, I see my dad, and my dad sees me. He goes, hey, Ozzy, well, what size you wear? And I start to stop. I start to stop to answer his question. And then I see Coach Chapman at the finish line. He goes, no, don't stop, no, you can't stop. He's screaming at me. He goes, look, in situation, and then, you know, because I was kind of in two places, and I heard Coach Chapman going crazy because he saw me about to stop. So I sprint through, I get to Coach Chapman, and then at the end of the race, or at the end of the practice, Coach Chapman looks at me. He goes, look, situations like that, when you're in that mode, when you're running in that mode, you got to tell Daddy, look, we'll talk later. You got to be in such a line of focus, or such a laser-like focus, that you got to tell Dad, look, we'll talk about whatever it is you need to talk about later. And that, you know, I've taken the reason that was my favorite, honestly, that was my favorite practice of that entire time, because, because he's right, you know, especially when you're talking about being in business and focusing on your goals and focusing on your dreams. You got to leave all the distractions away. You got to remove all that stuff. Focus on the finish line and sprint to it and deal with, it's like primetime Deion Sanders says, got to keep the main thing the main thing. Keep the main thing the main thing, and continue to focus. And that's what running has done for me over the years, and that's what's had me develop into, again, I'm going to start decreeing and declaring it now, the marathoner that I'm in the process of becoming, all right? All of this information, I dive deeper into all of the stuff that I'm talking about. MakeYourMove.com. That's MakeYamove.com. One-stop shop for all your teamwork and your self-development needs. There's tons of links on there. There's so much information on there. You will not be disappointed when you check out that website, all right? Again, Aswand Cruickshank, your one and only Move Swiftly speaker, checking out. You guys continue to move swiftly. We will talk more soon.